Hey everybody, Trevor Huntsinger here with the Anderson Hicks Group, and I have the pleasure today of sitting down with Riley Call.
Hey.
Riley is an agent on our team, and so Riley, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Idaho Falls, so grew up here, moved here when I was 8 years old from Utah. Both my folks are from Rigby, so our roots run pretty deep here in Southeast Idaho. Grew up here, went to all my schooling and everything here, went off to BYU, Idaho, and got an undergrad in healthcare administration. Obviously, that's exactly what I decided to do with my life.
Yeah, I get it. Chemistry here, so, you know.
Yep. And then I went off and got an MBA, and then I worked down in Salt Lake area in various corporate world positions. And from there, most of them were associated with sales of some kind. I moved back to Idaho and got into real estate back in 2020.
So, Utah at 8 years old, so that puts you in what, like first or second grade?
Second grade, yeah.
How was that?
It was good. It was a good age to move here and everything. And what's crazy is that when we moved back to Idaho from Utah, my oldest was 8 years old going into second grade at the same elementary school that I went to.
Same teacher?
Not the same teacher.
Oh, you're probably glad, huh?
No way. Oh. She was awesome. My second grade teacher was incredible, but yeah, she's not there anymore.
Oh, man. All right, so moved back to Idaho at 8 and then been here ever since, other than when you moved to Utah after schooling then?
Yeah, I served a mission for my church in Toronto, Canada for 2 years. Learned Spanish, of all places.
Spanish in Canada.
Yep, exactly. And then while I was in college, I also lived in North Carolina during the summer selling pest control door to door. So did that for 3 years.
You went to school, got a medical
healthcare administration degree.
Thought
I was going to run hospitals and health clinics, and that wasn't for me. So.
Yeah, I went down the very similar path, so I totally understand. Yeah. So then went to Utah, got your MBA, and
at Utah State.
Awesome. Yep. So right there in Logan.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Cool place.
And then went into marketing/sales job down there for a big corporation.
Yeah. Worked for Qualtrics for a little while. They sell survey software. And then I worked for a company called Alliance Health for a little while. And that's a whole different story because that was crazy. What happened with that was crazy. But then that led me to my next job at the Utah Jazz, and I worked at the Utah Jazz for 3 years.
Like you were point guard?
I was point guard.
Yeah.
They really needed short, slow point guard.
Yeah.
So.
Early retirement.
Yeah. No, it was fun. I was on the business operations side, managed relationships with some of the highest end premium season ticket holders and maintained relationships there, which was really, really fun. Also, there was a sales aspect to that job as well. Went to a lot of jazz games, a lot of concerts. It was cool. It was a really cool experience. COVID kind of came in and blew up that whole industry, and so that's what caused the whole shift. Ironically, I was already talking to one of the partners here at Anderson Hicks about maybe getting into real estate before COVID even hit, before any of this even happened. So when COVID hit, it became a pretty easy, jump to just jump straight in. Started out more in a management role here for Anderson Hicks back in 2020, and then transitioned from that management role into a real estate agent.
And so you kicked off your real estate career during the pandemic.
Yeah. Yep. It was 2020, right in the middle of it all.
How was it?
It was chaos.
Yep.
It was chaos. It was fun though. It was really cool. I feel fortunate that I wasn't an agent during that time because business was almost like too easy.
Right.
Like it was so I was already not very familiar with the industry of real estate and that side of things. And so seeing agents just being so busy and having so many leads and so many people they were constantly working with that they didn't have enough time to work with all of them is obviously would be nice.
Yeah.
Good problem to have all the time, but it also comes with a lot of its own challenges and things. And it was crazy, but it was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you got to see a lot of different transactions, a lot of homes sold.
Oh yeah.
They didn't sit very long.
No. I mean,
if they even
it was
made
like-
it to market.
Yeah, it was like if you got a listing during that time, it was like printing money. I mean, you
Yeah.
knew it would be sold in a week,
Yeah.
or less. But yeah, it was a strange time, kind of a weird time to jump into the industry and become familiar with how it all works and everything. Obviously, since then, I've seen a lot of different changes in the market and a lot of different markets and things like that as well, which they all have their positives and negatives no matter what it was. During COVID, it was if you don't get out with your client and see the home that day and put an offer in that day and waive inspection and go above list price and all these things, then you might as well not even
Show up.
not even try, because there's going to be 5 offers you're competing with in the first day.
So you made it through that, then jumped in from director of sales position into an agent role.
Yep.
And at that time, that was really when the market like started to shift, and it kind of went back to, okay, now we have to put in some legwork.
Yeah.
Right? It's not who answers the phone first.
Yeah.
It's who is reaching out, having conversations and building relationships, right?
Yeah.
And so how was that? Like, you got to observe the madness of COVID and then the shift into more of a normal real estate market, and understanding what level of work and effort had to be put in order to be successful in this industry.
Yeah.
How was that in your first year?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not a huge surprise to me, just because when I was in that director of sales position, which it was a really cool opportunity for me to be able to associate with and sit down with and really learn from a lot of different agents, whether they were brand new agents or they'd been in the market, in the industry for 20 years, and I got to see the agents that were successful and the agents that ended up not being successful, and what the successful ones did versus the ones that weren't successful. Now, in my role, kind of backing up a little bit, in my role as the director of sales, it was a humbling experience for me because I wasn't familiar with the industry. I was familiar with sales, but not real estate. And real estate is so specific. And, coming in and managing these agents, some of them that had tons and tons of experience, it was a challenge. It was a challenge to try to help them. And a lot of times I wasn't all that helpful.
Right.
And I kind of failed at that job. Like I really, if I'm just going to be totally vulnerable and honest, like I kind of failed in that position. But looking back, I don't see it as a failure, because I had this really unique opportunity to be almost trained to be a successful real estate agent. I didn't see it as that. That wasn't my goal,
Right.
but that's kind of how that all happened. And so jumped into my first year. And I remember my first 2 months as a real estate agent, I shut my door and I was on the phone all day, every day, going through all of my contacts in my phone, people I haven't talked to since high school. I actually helped a buddy from high school just by calling him that I hadn't talked to since high school. I helped him and his wife sell their home, and they relocated to Boise, and got him connected with an agent in Boise. And anyways, but yeah, I mean, it was not easy, I guess, jumping in, but I had seen what these agents that were successful and what they had done. So I knew when I jumped in that that's what I was going to do. I locked myself in my office and just made phone calls for 2 months straight.
And were you able to talk to a lot of people?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was able to talk to a lot of people. I'm a very social person. I really enjoy the social aspect of this job. Building these relationships, is what I was doing at the Jazz. It's what I was doing in other places as well, was these relationship type jobs and positions. And so reconnecting with people and getting to know new people and making new connections and everything actually is a ton of fun. It's something I love to do. And so even though like being on the phone is not glorious and it's not always the most fun,
Yep.
it is really fun to connect and just kind of get back and make new connections and rekindle old connections
Yep.
and things
It's
like
the
that.
first step.
Yeah.
Like
First step.
picking up that phone and having the conversation is the
Yep.
first step that leads into being able to meet with them in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah.
So 2 months locked in your office.
Yeah.
And that was what, 3.5 years ago?
Yeah, it was the end of towards the end of 2021.
Okay.
So towards the end of 2021, beginning 2022.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now from that time until now, you have helped hundreds of families
Yeah.
buy and sell real estate.
Yeah.
So going from no experience in the industry to, we'll call it 4 years under your belt.
Yeah.
Already up there in triple digits of families that you're helping.
Yeah.
And through that, you've gained a ton of experience.
Mm-hmm.
You've gained a ton of friends and relationships.
Yeah.
And out of those, like, this is where I do put you on the spot a little bit.
Okay.
Out of those, what was one of the most memorable transactions, relationships that came together at the end that is just, you'll never forget?
Man, ironically, I mean, there's been a lot, but ironically, it was one of my first transactions
Okay.
that I ever did. I met this, lady, senior lady at an open house and that I was running, and we start talking, and she mentioned she has a house that she needs to sell and is looking for a particular type of home, which was not necessarily easy to find. But we start the process. I go and sit down with her, and she didn't know that it was my very first real estate transaction I ever done.
That's good.
Yeah. And I've had a lot of training before that, right? In that position I was in for 1.5 years. So I wasn't quite as green as your typical new agent, but I was still pretty green.
Right.
And I help her list her home. We end up successfully selling it, help her find another home, ends up buying it. During the sale of her home, I missed something in the contract. And in the contract was some personal items of hers, and I totally missed it. And one of them, she loves to bike, and it was a really nice e-bike that was custom made. And I want to say it was probably, she paid somewhere around 10 grand or so for this e-bike, and that was on the inclusions list. That being a new agent, I just kind of was going too fast and maybe got a little excited and missed it, and ended up paying to get that bike back for her because it meant a lot to her.
Yep.
But she is somebody that I've maintained a very strong relationship with. She sent me actually a number of her friends that I've helped as well. And still to this day, we have a great relationship, and we talk all the time, and not all the time, but we catch up quite a bit and stay in touch. And so it was super memorable, maybe because it was one of my first, but it was also a mistake that I made.
Yep.
And we were able to jump in and make it right. And
yeah. And what's so cool about that story is that a lot of people would look at that and say, man, he didn't know that was on there, and I would never send someone to you.
Yeah.
And because of how you handled it, how you approached it, you made things right. You went above and beyond, and excluding that one situation probably gave her a 10+ experience. And because of that, she is sending people to you anytime she has them land in her lap.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And it all goes back to the relationship.
Yep.
I mean, I gave up majority of my commission to cover that bike for her, which ultimately it came down to reputation and relationship, and that was much more important to me. Um, and yeah, we have a great relationship, and like I said, she sent me a number of people that I've helped, and I promise you, I don't miss that inclusion
No, you don't.
line anymore.
Nope. It's the first thing you
I
scroll
never,
to.
yeah, I never skip past that anymore.
Yep.
So yeah,
Oh man. Well, you do have a lot of your business is repeat and referral business. Like it takes some time to build up your client base, your past client base, who are your raving fans, who've had great experiences with you. And now, I mean, over half of your business are those who you've given a great experience to, and either they're buying or selling again, or they are sending you their friends and their family. And so obviously relationships are important to you.
oh yeah, super super important. Yep, and I pride myself in that being a big portion of my business. I think last year it was 70% of my total business was from networks, referrals from past clients, referrals from friends, sphere, family, whatever. Um, and there are some advantages to having grown up here and the relationships that I already have.
Yep.
But anytime, I mean, it's my goal every time in a transaction to do a great job for somebody, so that they'll want to send me more people, so
Yeah.
that their friends, their family, their network, that they'll entrust me with that as well.
Right.
So
You stay busy.
I try.
Like you stay busy. You
Yeah.
carry a good number of listings. You are working with a good number of buyers at any given time.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have a family
Oh yeah.
with kids
Oh yeah.
in sports.
Yeah.
How do you manage it?
Mike Hicks, when I jumped into being a real estate agent, he gave me some incredible advice around this, because he warned me, it can be difficult to manage your schedule and to put your family first. It can be difficult. And he had certain examples and things that he had when he was a younger agent, and his kids were younger, that he really regretted missing because he put his work and business above that at times. And so having that conversation and having that, I mean, Mike is incredible. He's such an amazing mentor to me. But having that advice right out of the gate really helped me to focus on always making time for my family. Always having that be top priority. And I tell my clients that too. I'm very straightforward about that. I say, my number one priority is my wife and kids. It's my family. Clients come next, and I'll make time for both, which I do. I mean, I help coach my son's football team in the fall, and it's a lot of time. And I have 4 boys. The oldest is almost 13, youngest is 5 years old, and it's just every sport you can imagine is constantly, they're all into basketball, football. A couple of them like to play baseball. And then we have, I have them all. I snowboard, and I grew up snowboarding. I wanted to get my kids into that. My wife skis. And so, we do that as well. And it's really just been knowing how to manage a calendar, block off time specifically for example, like what we were talking about, phone calls.
Yep.
For work, block off times for meetings, block off times for showings, but also not forgetting to block off time for my family. And sometimes I go home and have dinner with them, and then I leave to go show houses that evening or whatever. And so the balance always looks different, but I've always had it my very top priority to always make time for my family.
That's amazing. And 4 boys.
4 boys.
So you are very grateful for your wife.
Oh yeah.
And we know when your wife is on a vacation
Oh yeah.
because you're
Because it's chaos.
ultra appreciative of your wife.
Yep. Yep. She's amazing. How she does what she does every day, and she does have the blessing to be home with them, and we're very, fortunate and grateful for that. Um, but I mean, when she's gone, man, it is nonstop. I mean, nonstop running from this practice and this one to this activity and this one. I mean, just constantly running, and then also everything at home and putting out all the fires. I mean, imagine 4 boys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of bloody noses. We've had trips to the ER. I mean, there's all, they're all such good boys, but it's busy and it's a little chaotic, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, they are fun. And I mean, at our boating events and our team events that families come to, we get to see them, and they're little athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love the sports and even get out on the boat. Like, super cool.
Yep.
So, when you are with your family, and you have a lot of business like we were talking about going on at any given time.
Yeah.
How do you not stress about all of that and be able to focus on the family?
No, I stress.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm okay at hiding it. Most of the time, my wife can tell.
Yeah.
I'm the type, I wear my emotion very much on my sleeve. Anyone that knows me knows that's just kind of how I am. But I mean, I always get back to my clients, and I tell them to, if you shoot me a text, give me a call, whatever it is, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Probably be within an hour or two, but for sure the same day. I'll always get back to you. So, sometimes I'm in my office at home at 8 or 9 o'clock after the kids are, in bed, and I'm catching up on text messages, and I'm catching up on emails, and I'm catching up on all that kind of stuff. But it's important to me. It's really important to me to prioritize my clients as well, and make sure they know that they're extremely important to me, and that timing and being accessible and communicative and everything is something that's extremely important.
Yeah.
So
awesome. So we're gonna go off track a little bit.
Okay.
So how was your Chiefs season this year?
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
That was brutal, man. That was a rough season, and I can go into some things. Maybe some the league not wanting them to be the top dog anymore. Maybe
Taylor Swift
the refs
no longer has them on payroll.
not calling certain play or calls. But it was a rough season.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We always have a good time.
Yeah.
I'm a Broncos fan.
Yeah.
So same division. We play each other at least twice a year. And it's always fun coming into winning minute.
Yeah.
After those Sundays, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so much fun.
Yeah.
So with the team, what about the team dynamic and you being a part of the team adds value to your clients?
Our team is just so dialed when it comes to our marketing, when it comes to the process, when it comes to I just love how specialized the system is for our team, where I get to put all my focus, and this is a big reason why I can have the balance that I do between my clients and my family and things, is I'm not as deep in all the mundane paperwork and all the individual steps of all these, transactions, which allows me to be there for my clients more. Allows me to specialize in that part of it, and specialize in negotiating for them, and specialize in all that, but then also still have time for my family. And so having the team that, their marketing strategies are obviously some of the very best in the area. We know how to get homes sold. We know what it takes, and we know how to, get it out there and get max exposure for our listings and for our clients. We know how to sell houses. But then also having the individuals, like Nicole as the transaction coordinator and Kelsey as the listing coordinator, and our photographer and our stager, and having all these people support, my assistant Lisa, and having all these people there just makes it so much smoother, not just for me, but for everybody that works with us and for all my clients.
Yep.
And so that's very important that they have that great 10 plus experience. And that's why we're able to deliver that every time, because we have all these people in, the right positions that are specialized in each part of the process.
Yep. And I get to see you come in each day, and you're talking with Nicole, you're talking with Kelsey, and you guys are so dialed on your clients of what the next step is to make sure it's a successful purchase or sale of their home, and making sure it's an amazing experience, and making sure that responsiveness is always there. And in the event that you're going to a sports event, or you're going on a vacation or anything like that, you are always very well prepared and going to the team to make sure that your clients are taken care of. That even though you may not be there, they're going to feel like you're still fully there because they're that important to you.
Yep. Totally. And a lot of times I'll still do certain things on vacation.
Yep. I know.
Last
year I had a call with you and you weren't even in the country.
Yeah.
And I mean, hats off to you, man.
Thank you.
It's awesome to see what you do each day.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And yeah, just having that synergy with everyone I work with. Our main goal is to just make it a great experience, and doesn't mean that there isn't surprises or challenges along the way. The great thing is with this team, a lot of times we can see those things coming before they happen, and the client doesn't even know that it happened. And then other times, we can see it coming and we can jump on it and get it handled and taken care of in a way that doesn't disrupt the transaction or become a big issue.
Right. It's like what Mike says, right? Get out in front of everything, stop the surprises.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not what you say, it's when you say it.
Yep.
Too. And so being aware of things early on, and having someone, like, for example, like Nicole, who's handled and managed all these transactions, that just knows when there's some kind of a red flag or a potential red flag, that we can dig into that kind of stuff and get ahead of it and have it not a big deal.
Yep. And she brings you in right away.
Oh yeah.
Gets you involved and makes sure everything runs as smoothly as possible.
Yep.
That's awesome. So last thing, you obviously work with both buyers and sellers.
Correct.
What is the number one piece of advice that you would give to each of them in getting ready to buy a home or to sell their home? So we'll start off with buyers.
Yeah.
If a buyer right now is watching this video and the first thing that they say is, what should I do first? What would that be?
First thing is partner with an agent. So partner with somebody that you trust, that has your best interest in mind. Experience obviously is important too. Someone that is experienced. From there they can get you connected with a good lender to get you pre-approved. That way, you don't want to go out looking for houses that you're not sure if you can afford, and maybe you fall in love with something and then you try to get approved and you can't get approved for enough, and it's very deflating and frustrating. And so having an agent that knows the steps and knows how to make it smooth for you and a good experience for you as well. And so partnering with a good agent, and then partnering with a great lender, which most of the time the agent can help you find that great lender to work with, getting that pre-approval in place, and then going out and looking for houses. And, having an agent that can negotiate on your behalf as
Yeah.
well. And like I said, just look out for your best interests throughout the whole process.
Now for a seller,
Mm-hmm.
if a seller's watching this right now
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying, hey, we're really thinking about listing our house,
Mm-hmm.
what's that piece of advice?
They can just call me.
Yeah, that's a good piece of advice.
No. I mean, know who it is that you're hiring, right? And maybe even talk to a couple different agents and compare. Knowing somebody and knowing their track record as to what, they've done, how many homes they've sold, understanding the marketing plan of what it is that they're going to be doing to get max exposure to your home. And once again, someone that's willing to dig their heels in at times and negotiate for you.
Yeah. Act as if it's your money that you're working with when it's someone else's.
Yep.
Like, it's super important.
Yep.
And obviously not just accepting putting a sign in the yard, taking some photos with your iPhone,
Yeah,
and putting on the MLS.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Well, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
This has been
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, this has been great. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you sitting down. And anybody who's watching today that is thinking about buying or selling a home, hopefully you got to know Riley a little bit better. Yeah. And if you are one of those individuals who are looking to buy or sell, reach out to Riley. Reach out to Anderson Hicks Group. We can obviously get you in touch with Riley. Yeah. We would love to help you. I know Riley definitely loved to help you.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thanks.